Hey guys, Mike here, and in this video we're having side by side the Apple iPad 4 and the Asus Transformer Pad TF701T, or in other words, two of the most interesting large format tablets of the moment. The Transformer Pad TF701T builds on the design of the previous Transformer, the Infinity, very popular back in 2012. A sheet of metal wraps around most of the case, and the tablet is fairly compact for its class and not very heavy either. The iPad, with its unibody aluminum case, is heavier and slightly thicker as well, but it does feel somewhat more robust. However, there's another thing that matters more here. The iPad is a 4x3 tablet, so it's designed to be mostly used in portrait mode, as shown by the power button on the front face, while the TF701T, like most Android slates, is a 16x10 tablet meant for landscape mode use. It is of course up to you to choose which aspect ratio suits you better. I for one find the Transformer Pad a more comfortable pick for watching movies, while the iPad is superior for browsing. It's worth noting, however, that the Asus Slate comes with a matching docking unit, which bundles a physical keyboard, a trackpad, some extra ports and an extra battery. All this combined to make the Transformer a versatile solution if you're looking for a tablet that can help you get things done. For instance, you can easily go through some photos taken with a camera, edit some text or connect a flash drive and get something from it on the Asus tablet. On the other hand, you can do most of those on the iPad as well, but you'll need some specific accessories for each task, like the camera connection kit or an external Bluetooth keyboard. With a dock on the Transformer, you get them all with a single device, albeit a fairly pricey one, selling for about $150. Anyway, let's turn our attention on the three important aspects that make or break a good tablet: the screen, the everyday experience and the battery life. Both these tablets pack amazing displays. On paper, the higher density IXO panel on the Asus seems superior to the screen on the iPad, but in practice you'll be more than happy with any of these, as they are sharp, bright, clear and paint lovely and natural looking colors, as you can see for yourselves here. The hardware and the software join forces when it comes to the daily experience. On one side sits the iPad, with its A6X processor, 1GB of RAM and iOS 6 in this case, soon to be updated to 7. On the other sits the TF701T, with an Nvidia Tegra 4 chip inside, 2GB of RAM and a fairly clean version of Android 4.2.2. On paper and in benchmarks, the Transformer easily outmatches the iPad, but when it comes to loading apps, navigating between menus and windows, or performing various actions, the two are in fact very close, as you can see from the next couple of seconds. In fact, you'll still encounter occasional sluggishness with the Asus Slate and even sudden and unexpected freezes, but I'm testing a pre-production version of this tablet here, that's why I hope these issues will get fixed on the final retail units. We'll see. Of course, having these two side by side automatically leads to the eternal iOS versus Android debate. I'm not going to talk much about this in here, but here's how I see things. The iOS tablet ecosystem is still several notches over Android's one, and you can easily see that by going through the games available for the Transformer Pad and compare them to the ones for the iPad. I'm talking about high quality games here, of course. That aside, each OS has its pros and cons. For instance, Android is tweakable, more permissive and modern looking, while iOS is closed, limited in many ways and even ugly, some might say, but it is fast and reliable. Anyway, at the end of the day, both these tablets can easily handle all sorts of tasks, from browsing or listening to music, to running movies, games and much more. The iPad, however, will last longer than the Transformer Pad TF701T on a charge, which was expected given how both pack premium screens and fast hardware, but there is a larger battery inside the Apple Slate. Anyway, I'm getting about 6 hours of gaming on the iPad, about 10 of browsing and 12 of watching movies, with the screen at 50%. While on the Transformer Pad I got about 4.5 of gaming, 8 of browsing and 10 of looping the same 720p clip. However, don't forget about the docking unit for the Asus Slate. Latch it to the tablet and you'll increase these numbers above by about 50%. Still, that's from a combo almost twice the size and the weight of the iPad. Anyway, there are some other things worth mentioning here. Let's take them one at a turn. For starters, you should know that the Transformer Pad actually gets hotter on its back than the iPad does while running games, and Apple Slate is in no way a cool performer. Then both the iPad and the Transformer Pad pack a single speaker facing backwards. The one on the Apple slate is louder though and a bit more difficult to cover and obstruct with your fingers, as it's placed towards one of the sides and not in the middle like on the Asus tablet. Besides that, you should know that both these devices pack front and rear facing cameras without flash, as on paper the two are identical. In practice, the images coming out of the iPad are somewhat sharper, but long story short, none of this is going to excel at taking pics or videos, so just don't use them for that. Anyway, we should also turn our attention on the ports and connectivity options. There's the Lightning connector on the iPad and not much else, while on the TF701T itself you get an Asus proprietary port as well for charging and connecting the slate to a computer, plus a microSD card reader and a micro HDMI port for video output, and of course all the other ports on the docking unit. There's also Wi-Fi, Bluetooth and GPS on this unit. However, it's important to note that you're only getting GPS on the cellular version of the iPads, the Wi-Fi only models lack this option. However, there is one important aspect to mention here. The wireless module on the TF701T did not perform as well as I was expecting. While having these slates near my router, I got 50 megabits per second download speeds with both of them. Going a bit further away, at about 25 feet and with 2 walls in between, the iPad dropped to about 22 megabits per second, while the Asus Pad went to 7 megabits per second, and that's definitely something you should have in mind when choosing between these two. Either way, all this being said, there are many things you'll like about both these devices. Both look good, both pack wonderful screens, and both are most of the time snappy and responsive, no matter what you're throwing at them. The iPad does offer the more consistent experience, the larger choice of quality third-party apps and the longer battery life. But the Transformer Pad TF701T compensates with the docking unit, superior connectivity and a more tweakable Android operating system. Of course, the prices will have an important saying in this comparison as well, but I don't know how much the Asus slate is going to cost, as it hasn't been officially released yet at the moment I'm shooting this clip. Still, I'd reckon it will start at $499 just like the iPad, and that without the docking unit. So in order to get the whole bundle, you'll actually have to pay more than you'd pay for the iPad. And if that's going to be the case, then the Transformer Pad TF701T is going to be a hard sell for anyone who's not a geek or deeply fond of technology. Anyway, I'd really like to know what do you guys think about these two devices and which one would you pick between them, so make sure to leave your comments below. I for one will end this clip here, but not before thanking you for watching. And of course, if you enjoyed this comparison, hit the thumbs up button and share it around. Catch you later.